Firestorm, the nuclear man. Fire away, fools. Your death will be the hyena's last laugh. Two men fused by a bizarre nuclear explosion. One is Nobel Prize-winning physicist Professor Martin Stein. The other is teenager Ronnie Raymond. And together they form Firestorm. When laughs the hyena. Prince Charles Island, just north of the Arctic Circle at longitude 76 degrees west, shortly after the end of our previous issue. For over 1,000 years, the harp seals of the Arctic have been coming to this isle, and isles like it, to breed and rest. For the past dozen years, they've also unwittingly been coming here to die. That's right, Pierre, really whack 'em hard. We've got us the makings of a good half-dozen sealskin coats out here tonight, and I ain't aiming to miss even one. Feisty little buggers, ain't they? There's some folk who'd want to make all this illegal. Ain't that a laugh? What we got here is pure free enterprise. People want sealskin coats. The skin's gotta come from somewhere. And somebody's gotta do the getting, and it might as well be me. Now hold still, you dumb pup, and I'll just whoop you with my... fish? If this is somebody's crummy idea of a joke, you better cut it out. Those bull seals are getting up their nerve for a charge. Don't worry, Hank, we've got 'em covered. Hey, who's that? Guess you bums haven't seen too many papers up here, have you? The name's Firestorm, jerks. And though I was just passing through, I think I'll stick around a while to teach you guys some real economics. Mainly, the law of supply and demand. Ronald, is this digression necessary? Quiet, Professor. I'm working. For instance, you used to have a supply of guns and clubs. And now, all you've got is a demand. He changed our rifles into fish. Plastic fish. But the bull seals, they're attacking. So many of them. They'll slash us to ribbons. Let's get out of here. Why, Ronald, I apologize. This digression was positively exhilarating. Glad you had fun, Professor. Even if you are just a spectator inside my skull. I figured it was about time I used my atomic reconstruction powers for something I wanted to do. The inside me, Ronnie Raymond. After all, I ran out of a school basketball game so I could change into Firestorm and rescue you from that crazy Killer Frost. Not that I regret it, Professor Stein. It's just, I've never wanted to hurt anyone. But still, it was necessary. With her ice powers, she could have slain everyone in that experimental Arctic power station, including our joint alter ego Firestorm. I understand, Ronald. And using your nuclear blast to create a refrigeration unit to trap Killer Frost must have been painful for you. Yeah, I know. And I guess those scientists she did freeze would all be dead now if I hadn't been able to thaw them with fusion heat. That doesn't make me any happier about freezing Killer Frost, Professor. But it helps. Believe me, it helps. Where to now, Ronald? Home to Manhattan? You bet. Physicist Martin Stein may have hitched a ride with the Air Force to get up here, but teenager Ronnie Raymond has got to take the hard way home. Inside me. And as the amazing composite hero heads homeward from the Arctic Circle, carrying with him the personas of scientist and schoolboy, we'll jump ahead to the island of Manhattan, where we find a midtown office building in the process of being robbed. Say, Mr. Shine, I don't get it. This here's a travel agency, right? Yeah, so? So how come we're heisting a travel agency and not a bank? And how come we're stealing airplane tickets and not money? Because I'm a genius, you imbecile. We can sell these blank tickets to a mob front, and they'll sell the tickets to some sucker tour groups for a discount price. The tourists will be stuck with worthless tickets, and we'll be sitting on a fast 500 grand. That's great, Mr. Shine. You're even smarter than your old man, and he's head of all the rackets on the East Coast. I bet he'll be really proud of... Hey, Mr. Shine, don't look now, but we've got company. Who the... Call me the hyena, little man. I noticed you boys were having trouble carrying all that loot, and I thought I'd just give you a hand. Ha 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 ha. So drop the bag, creeps, or die. He sounds serious, and look at the size of him. He's even bigger than Fat Eddie. Say, Mr. Shine, maybe we should just do like he says, huh? No way. My father would never let me live it down. Slash that furry freak, and I'll pay you each another 2,000. Mister, now you're playing music. Let's make this quick. I don't want to miss Starksy and Hutch. Better say your prayers, laughing boy. You're dead meat. Hyenas thrive on dead meat, little man. That's because we're scavengers. But even a scavenger has claws. It's not even the money I want, you know. I just want to destroy you. Ha ha! Because you're criminals. Foul little criminals. And as a real hyena hates the predator lion, I hate the predator crook. But you don't believe that, do you? Who cares, freak? My boys have got you pinned. Claws or no claws, you're through. Through? Wrong. My God. I won't be through till I've caught you, Shine. I followed you here tonight for a reason. To ruin you in the eyes of your father, the king of the mob in New York. If I can't get Boss Shoe Shine directly, I'll get the next best thing. His precious little son, Spit. Get away from me! You're crazy! Think so? Maybe I am crazy, Spit. Yeah, Harry, drive! Drive! But then, I'm the one with the loot, aren't I? And you're the fool who'll have to explain this fiasco to his father. It should be a scream, Spit. A real scream. Head back, body shaking with mirth, the hyena cackles with deep enjoyment, oblivious to the sound of approaching sirens. Until abruptly, the laughter stops. That's part of the Shine Gang. Man, what a catch. You must be one of those new superheroes we've been getting in New York lately, like that Firestorm fellow who helped Superman last week. Good work, friend. I'd like to shake your... Suddenly, the policeman halts in mid-sentence, aware of a strange burning light in the costumed figure's eyes. Softly, almost inaudibly, the hyena growls, dark eyes shifting from uniform to patrol car to badge. What those gray eyes see, we can only imagine, but the growling gradually deepens, and then explodes in a roar of unadulterated rage. Ah! Hank! Harry! Look out! This guy's gone psycho! Ah! Ha 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 ha! That laugh. Worse than the Joker. What do you want? What on earth do you... There's no sanity in the hyena's laugh now. No reason or rationality. A casual spring and the steel-clawed scavenger is in motion. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! No longer remotely human in appearance, but rather fully a savage beast. Ha 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 ha! For a time, the hyena's laughter remains in the air like an echo, long after its source is gone. Then the laughter fades, and a new sound drones through the night, the wail of an ambulance, summoned by an anonymous onlooker from the surrounding office buildings. One thing alone is certain. This is a night some men will remember for the rest of their lives. 3:13 a.m. at the Washington Heights home of Ronnie Raymond. Like a falling star, a flaming figure drops from the ebon sky, performs a transformation that, by now, is all too familiar, a transformation not unlike the splitting of an atom. And instantly, where one man stood, there are two. I must be losing my mind. This isn't the Arctic. How did I get here? What about the project? You better grab a taxi back to Westchester, Professor Stein. Get some sleep. It'll all come back tomorrow. I don't hope. Weird how the professor never remembers anything that happens when we're Firestorm. He says it's because he was unconscious when we first fused together. Me? I don't know. I wish I could talk to him about it, though. But how do you tell a guy he's half a superhero? He'd think I'm nuts. He might even be right. Anyway, Dad, I guess you're wondering why I'm home so late, huh? I got a call from Coach Thompson that you'd run off during the game earlier tonight. And now you show up, 5 hours late, still in your uniform? I don't want an excuse, Ronald. No excuse could be good enough. Young man, you're grounded until further notice. Understood? You bet it's understood. You can work all night at your dumb newspaper, never come home, miss dinner, and never tell me why. But when I do something wrong, it's different. Did you ever apologize to me? Not once. Not once. If that's your idea of fair? What's the use? You never listen anyway. I'm going to bed. Ground me if you want. I just don't care. Ronnie, Son, wait. Lord in heaven, what's wrong with me? That's my boy, dear Elaine's son, a child I love more than life itself. And how do I treat him? Like a criminal. It's this fear, this sick, horrible fear I've lived with for the past 15 years. It killed Elaine, and now it's turning me into a cold-hearted monster. If only I could tell Ronald the truth. Why we've had to move from city to city over the years, never having a real home. But I don't dare. The danger's too great. I lost a wife because of what I did years ago. I couldn't survive losing a son. Dad, why can't I ever be what you want me to be? Every time I turn around, I've done something to disappoint you. I just wish, once, we could be happy. Just once. I'd like to make you smile. Morning of the next day, at Bradley High, and for a sleepy Ronnie Raymond, still stung by the previous night's harsh words. There's an unexpected, though suitably pleasant surprise. Fantastic! Professor Stein's brains must be rubbing off on me after all. I thought for sure I'd flunk yesterday's chem test. But instead I cleaned up, with a fat B+. I haven't seen one of those since I stopped grading phys ed. Hey Raymond, I hear the teacher took pity on you, mothball mind. If you want to see a real grade, gaze and be awed. A+. Don't feel too bad, chump. At least you finished the test, right? And that's more than you did at last night's game. Carmichael, you creep, I've had it with you. You've been writing me ever since I came here. You want blood? I'll give you blood, Carmichael. Yours. Big man, if you're so tough, why'd you run out on the team? Hey, Cliff's right. You lose your nerve, Raymond? Go on, pal. Explain. Or maybe you just get your kicks beating up innocent kids wearing glasses. Oof. Jerk. Nuts. I can't win. You put me down, but I come off looking bad. Go stuff a fruit, Carmichael. Jerk. How can I tell them I had to run off because Professor Stein was in trouble in the Arctic, and I sensed it down here? Man, I'd sound stupid or crazy, and Carmichael would have a field day. Might as well have lunch alone. The mood my class is in, I'd probably be lynched if I showed up at the cafeteria. What a mess. I'll bet even Doreen is mad at... Huh? Doreen! Hey, listen, I'm really sorry about snubbing you yesterday. My mind was a zillion miles away, and I'll tell you about it sometime. But not now, okay? I'd just explode. You know, I just can't stay mad at you, Ronnie. Even if that is the strangest apology I've ever heard. Sis, this is the guy I told you about. Ronnie Raymond. Hey, Ron. Ronnie, meet my sis, Summer. Get it? Summer day? My folks tell me I was born on the hottest day in August, and my mom's always had a thing for practical jokes. It's cute. Real cute. Do you hate it? A lot. Doreen, your sis is okay. Mind if we join you? Summer has an appointment with Principal Hapgood for an assistant teacher's post, but it is until after 1. Be my guest. Either of you want an apple? No? Suits me. How did you get to be an assistant teach, Summer? Did you go to college for a master's degree, or... That's my business, Ronald. I'd like to keep it that way if it's alright with you. Summer's a very private person, Ronnie. Don't pry, please. Huh? No, yeah, sure. I won't. Weird. 1 second Summer's friendly and warm, and the next, instant winter. What did I say anyway? That's an enigma whose resolution will have to wait for another time. At the moment, other members of our cast have more immediate concerns. One of those concerns has brought Professor Martin Stein to an office building in the Midtown area, where he's about to set forces in motion that will have a disastrous effect on the existence of a certain nuclear man. Grab a seat, Professor. The name's McAaron, Liam McAaron. I want you to know right off, my agency doesn't handle divorce work. I'm not married, McAaron. Actually, I don't know quite how to begin. Professor Stein wants a man followed, Liam. So tell me something new. Beat it, Betsy. I think the prof wants this private. McAaron, I'm a scientist, but something's been happening to me lately that I just can't explain. The man I want you to shadow, McAaron, is me. What? Run that by me again, Professor. Is this a joke? No joke, McAaron. Lord, I wish it were. I have government contracts to build a fail-safe nuclear plant, and if something like this ever got out... Trust me. Go on. For the past several weeks, I've had blackouts. The latest occurred last night. One moment, I was in the Arctic at a top-secret project, and the next thing I knew, it was hours later. But I was back here, in New York, with no idea how I came here, or why. McAaron, for God's sake, help me. I'll try, Professor, and that's a promise. For the first time in several days, Professor Martin Stein feels a great weight lifting from his shoulders. But even as he prepares to leave McAaron's office, several miles away, at Bradley High, something's about to happen to shatter Martin Stein's newfound security. Summer seems like a nice lady. I just wish I knew why she and Doreen clammed up all of a sudden. Doreen's supposed to meet me for dinner tonight, so maybe I can find out then why she... Somebody must be having a cookout on the school football field. I swear, I can almost smell... smoke. Holy Hannah! That warehouse across the street is on fire! And being robbed. Those hoods must have set the fire to provide a giant smoke screen. The cops will be so busy trying to help the firemen contain the blaze, they'll never see the crooks slipping out the rear. But people could get killed in that fire, and that ticks me off. Simultaneously, in Midtown Manhattan, 100 blocks south. So when will you start, McAaron? Tonight? Tomorrow? Soon, Professor. Don't bother watching for me. I'm a professional. And the first rule of the professional is, don't let the subject know your plans. I had this special express elevator put in for my private use, to beat clients down to the lobby. Stein's shadowing is going to start sooner than he thinks. On the contrary, it's not even going to get started, for at that instant, as the elevator bearing Martin Stein drops towards street level, the nuclear physicist starts to shimmer with unearthly radiance. Flickers like a fading television picture, and in the next second, is gone. And so? Great, the lobby attendant tells me that elevator didn't stop at any other floor. No chance of Stein slipping away. For the next 8 hours, Professor, I'm sticking to you like... glue? And what ticks off Ronnie Raymond? Ticks off Firestorm. Ronald, for heaven's sake, what... No time for explanations, Professor. Sorry I yanked you away from whatever, but I saw something that just couldn't wait. Take a back seat, okay? This show's all mine. Hey, look! Who's that? Who cares? Let's get out of here. I don't believe this. First the Hyena wrecks one of my capers last night, And now some new costume creepo fouls up this gig? The warehouse robbery isn't important. It's just a diversion. But with all this commotion, I don't dare carry out my real operation. It's botched up. And when Mom and Dad hear about this, they'll kill me. It may not be midnight, and you're sure not Cinderella, but as far as you bozos are concerned, it's pumpkin time. Ronald, really? Couldn't you have used your atomic restructuring powers more appropriately? No offense, Professor, but this is my big moment, remember? So please, bug off. This ain't a real pumpkin. It's wax. And it's got a lid, like a jack-o'-lantern. Is that guy kidding? Or is he crazy? Forget him. We've got a way out. Let's use it. Whoa, don't look now, chums. But here he comes again. I don't care how much we're getting paid for this heist. It ain't worth it. Like the shadow always says, fellas, crime doesn't pay. I may have messed up with that lid because I'm still new at this game. But you've got to admit, I'm getting better. He herded us like a bunch of cattle. Now what? Please, mister, we give up. Don't kill us. Kill you? Boy, have you jerks got a wrong number. Guess there's nothing to do but turn you over to the cops. Maybe they'll find out who set up this caper, 'cause it sure wasn't you. You don't have smarts enough to rob a piggy bank. No, if they're questioned, they might tell the police something that can lead them to me. I was careful to keep my identity secret, but if the cops get enough clues, they... Hey? Coming up behind Firestorm. I don't believe it. Ha ha ha. Dear Lord. Ronald, that creature who struck you. What is it? Whatever, or whoever he is, he's got a wallop like a wrecking ball. And those claws. Another blow from them and I'll be coleslaw. Who are you, Buster? What do you want? Call me the Hyena, hothead. I heard you calling for the cops, and now I want you dead. Ha 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 ha. Oh boy. Professor, we've got troubles now. To be continued.